All right, let's do this. So, only murders in the building. This is a spoiler review. So, once again, stick around only if you want spoilers. So, to start off about this series, I just recently watched this with my wife. It's actually pretty decent. I think it's cute, it's funny, it's simple. But it's very slow paced and can get really boring at times. Regardless, all of the actors, especially Steve Martin and Martin Short, are just so good at what they do. And Selena Gomez is actually going to be like, I think it's safe to say she can just completely forget about her career in singing because she's a really good, like, she's able to carry her own as an actress. Of course, she's nowhere near the charisma of Steve Martin or Martin Short. Like they can really blend into their character and be exactly what they're supposed to be. Whereas for Selena Gomez, you see her sometimes just sort of like zoning out. And I think that is part of what the character is supposed to do. She's supposed to be zoning out in certain moments, but it just makes you feel like she's just sort of cut off from the actual character. Like I don't think zoning out is a good thing for any actor to do as even as a character because it really feels like they're just not there in the scene. And especially standing next to the likes of Steve Martin and Martin Short, you gotta really be doing something extra if you want to stay next to them. I mean, considering how amazing these two actors are, yeah, Selena Gomez really needs to bring like more than just a game, especially if there's ever going to be a season two. But regardless, I think she did pretty well. Especially besides these two pretty amazing characters. So, as for the series itself, Only Murders in the Building, is it a good murder mystery? I don't think so. Personally, I feel that there's too many unnecessary episodes that just don't really focus on the main story. Like they all focus on very much uh like they try to misdirect you by giving you a plot that's completely obsolete, right? It's like it's a plot that's not even relevant to the main plot line because these two people are just they want to show them like these two people are actually morons, right? They're actually like idiots trying to solve the case, which is what the story is trying to show you. But they don't show you as though they're at least investigating relevant clues. They're investigating things that are completely out of the box, that are not related, that don't even influence the actual crime scene in any real way. And what I mean by that is actually they go after like the some famous singer guy, and they suspect him for like very strange reasons. And yeah, there are a lot of moments where it just feels really off the investigation trail which they're actually working on. At the same time, there are like three or four really good episodes out of this. Like how many are there in total? I think it's like 10 or some 10 or 11. Anyway, I think there's like 10 episodes, and like there's three or four really good episodes out of this. And let me tell you, there's like the remaining six episodes. If you don't watch six out of the 10 episodes, you will still get the main story and the conclusion and the character building all in those four episodes, because there are like really packed episodes where you get character development, you get story development, you get like emotional moments between the characters, understanding each other, relationship, the friendship that they build together, just their what do you call this, like inclusivity, because all of these people are murder mystery maniacs, which is what happens. So basically these three characters all listen to a podcast, and they listen to a podcast that is run by Tina Fey. What's her character in this? Tina Fey is Cindy Canning or something. So they listen to murder podcasts and they're all into it, and that's how they get to know each other, because there's like a fire in the apartment they're living in, which is the building in this story. And they all go to a nearby cafe to chill out while the fire is getting settled. And they get to know that all three of them are listening to the same murder podcast, and they actually become good friends. And they find out that it's actually a murder happened during the fire in their building. And so they decide, let's investigate that murder. And while the detective in the story just closes the case as usual, as every detective does, these three people have to go and try to solve the case by themselves, because they believe that the death is not a suicide. As per the description of the detective, it's actually a murder. So they build a case, just to try to show you that it's a murder, and they try to build a podcast as they do it. And it's called Only Murders in the Building, but basically it's about one murder that's being solved. And yeah, it's basically about one murder that's being solved all the way up to the very end. And there is another murder that happened like before this particular timeline. It's like an alternate like what do you call this, like in the past that happens, that Selena Gomez is actually a part of. And there are certain choices by these characters that just seem really off and mysterious. Like at first they make you try to suspect Selena Gomez, and that she could be a part of it and she's in it and sort of things like that, that build up to nothing, because she's just very cool about the fact that she's actually a part of the murder mystery and she knows the person who died, but she just doesn't reveal any of that until very much later on in the story. And those few dragged episodes of not telling anything just misleads these two other characters to actually go after the wrong people several times for no reason. So, like, skip 3 episodes, she finally tells them, and they're actually back on the actual trail. So it's like 3 episodes of just because she didn't tell them, that she knows the guy who got murdered, and she knows certain information that might actually help them lead on the actual mystery and whatever. There's 3 episodes just wasted like that, and on top of that there's actually a second crime that they solve, which I thought was pretty decent. I think it's a nice twist that they actually managed to solve a crime, but not the crime of the murder that they're looking for. They actually managed to solve another crime about some sort of smuggling of jewelry from dead bodies of dead people. So it's like grave robbery sort of thing. So I like that little aspect and that little element. I also like how every character is shown really awkward and stupid and funny, and especially stupid. There's a lot of stupid characters in this. Like, as for intelligent characters, I don't know, maybe one and two are actually intelligent. Everyone else is just awkward and stupid and funny, and I think that's the general theme of this. Comedy wise, there's a lot of great moments between these three characters interacting with other people and among themselves. And even the awkward moments are not like awkward to the point that they are like, ugh, why am I watching this? No, it's always funny, it's always entertaining. There's always someone making a gag or something. Even though it's subtle sometimes. But I feel at the same time the comedy is a little bit boring, considering the fact that Steve Martin's coming from Steve Martin's the Pink Panther, right? Like compared to the Pink Panther, the jokes in this are just nowhere near as good as the Pink Panther. The Pink Panther's comedy was just stupidly good. Like I'm not just saying it just for the fun of like, oh, it's such a great movie or anything. But man, the Pink Panther was really really funny. Like it had some of like look at the rating here. It's five out of 10, right? And I think this is fair enough rating for the Pink Panther. But the jokes in the Pink Panther are just better than Only Murders in the Building. And Only Murders in the Building is not that great of a crime mystery either, because as I said, all the characters are pretty dumb and they're always misled into other clues. So I think as time goes on, this rating will go down. If you ask me, Only Murders in the Building is a solid 5 out of 10. Let me pull that up for you. There we go. It's a decent watch. You can even argue for a 4 out of 10. I think it's a considerable argument. I think since it's new, probably it'll be 5, but will I ever rewatch it? I don't think so. And so I'm going to put it a 4. If it's at least rewatchable, I think I might give it at least another point. But I think it's safe to say that it's a 4 out of 10. It's good, it's funny. Is it will I recommend it to someone to watch? No, I don't think. Does it fall under the category of a good comedy, a good crime, or a good drama? No, it's not good in any of the three things. The only good thing about this is these three people: Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez. That's basically the three people who try to carry these series with a very, very bad plot line, very, like misguided, strange choice of investigation. Like, I've not seen good investigation series recently. It's just not been the case. Like Sherlock, for example. Of course, that's very much focusing on no, very well written scripts. Considering even though it's a TV series or whatever, Sherlock it really does some pretty good investigation. There are some ups and downs in the episodes, but that's true investigation. I mean, of course, the guy is smart and whatever. Here is more of a comedy, but I think even the Pink Panther, considering it is a movie, so they don't really drag it, but it is more compact, and it allows the character, even though he is misled, even though he's dumb, even though he's stupid, he actually managed to stay on the trail of the actual case and figure things out. And the Pink Panther is actually good at certain things. I think he can actually fight or whatever, but he's really stupid and funny and whatever. And I expected some of that charisma and that capability or that intelligence, like even though he's stupid, he still knows what he's doing, to be carried into this. But I didn't get any of that. Steve Martin here is just more so a charming old man who's just able to I don't know, use throw around his charisma as an actor, which he's like acting as an actor in the story, or rather a retired actor, and he's just using that to throw around to sort of get his way about in the story. And Martin Short is sort of like some kind of bankrupt, what do you call this, TV, like a film director or something, is trying to make a podcast instead this time to make money back so that he can like survive being bankrupt or whatever. And Selena Gomez is just this kid who grew up in this building, and is now trying to do some kind of decoration, like she's doing remodeling of like this unit or something. So she's absolutely fine. She's very early in her life, and she's nothing, no real stakes to go about, except for the fact that she's actually related to the murder in some way. So if I actually got a glimpse of the Pink Panther here, I think at least it would have been so much, because this is also comedy and crime. It's a very, very close combination to this. And this is only a drama because it's stretched out across a bunch of episodes. I think probably 4 or 5 episodes would have sufficed for this series, because a lot of the rest of them is just, as I said, to going nowhere. But yeah. So if you have nothing to watch and you want something just funny and just something silly and don't really expect much of the crime aspect, it's just sort of a throw in or whatever, you can watch this. It's pretty decent. Otherwise, I suggest just skip this and probably look for something more interesting. There's so many other crime thrillers out there, especially even the CSIs are pretty good for a rewatch. Um, I think all things considered, Sherlock is a pretty good rewatch. Let me see. There's one more. Yes, there's this one that I watched, Mindhunter. This is absolutely amazing. Mindhunter is really, really good. If you're looking for something that's true crime, drama, mystery, that sort of thing, crime. Mindhunter is pretty good. Narcos is also really famous. If you guys are into more of the police sort of investigation stuff, Narcos is pretty good. True Detective, everyone knows this. It's excellent. It's probably one of the best, just detective, solid detective movies. And Colin Farrell absolutely is spot on, like the badass of this story. So yeah, True Detective is really good. Fargo, of course, is another classic. Fargo, I feel, is one of my all-time favorites for sure. It just got a little bit draggy for me eventually, especially the end of season 2. It got a little bit draggy for me, but still it's pretty good. I think it's a good watch always. And Sherlock, of course, I think it's my number one. There's no question. Sherlock is just so well written. They even in the boring episodes, there's something to look forward to. The relationship between Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson, that builds up over the series, and the way Sherlock changes as well as a person, it's pretty interesting, and it touches on a lot of smaller things as well. How Sherlock is not very good with social aspects, and how he has to develop in that as a person. He is already a genius, but he has a lot of things left to learn. And then Martin Freeman's Dr. Watson as well is a really just a brilliant character. So in comparison, this is just nothing at all. This doesn't even get a chance to stand in the shadow of Sherlock. So I think it's a fair rating to say that 4 out of 10 is a pretty safe thing. So yeah, that's it from me for this one. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. That's twice.